Are you looking to achieve massive gains in your biceps? In this video, I break down the best biceps and triceps exercises specifically designed for stretch mediated hypertrophy. Now I guarantee you this, these exercises will help you push past your limits and achieve those massive arm gains you've been dreaming of in 2024. Welcome back to Kinetics with Kishan. So this video is part 2 of the stretch mediated hypertrophy series. Now before selecting the best exercises for your arms, you have to ask yourself these 5 questions. Is the exercise you're doing going to stretch your muscles in the lengthened position? Is this exercise providing you more stability so that you can only focus on the targeted muscle? Does your joint feel amazing? Do you get a huge pump and soreness after exercise? Finally, are you able to load your exercise weeks in and weeks out on that particular exercise? The first exercise is lying bicep curls. Now this exercise is best for the long head of the biceps because it puts the long head under a crazy full stretch. In order to do this exercise, you need to lie down on a bench, put your elbows behind your body and curl the weight up. Not everyone has enough shoulder mobility to do this exercise on a flat bench. So if that's you, I recommend you put your bench under a slight incline and then attempt this exercise. If you compare this exercise with seated incline dumbbell curls, the seated curls are easier in the bottom range of motion and it gets harder towards the middle range of motion, where your forearms are at 90 degrees with your elbows. The lying bicep curls, however, is hardest in the bottom range of the motion. In order for a bicep exercise to be the best, it has to fully stretch the bicep and it should feel the hardest towards the bottom range of motion. And the lying bicep curls does just that, and that is why it is a clear winner. Next up is the seated cable curls. In order to do this exercise, you need to keep in mind 2 key points. Point number 1 is to raise both pulleys to your wrist height. Second point is to move your bench to such a distance away from the pulleys so that you can move your arms behind your body and can feel the full stretch. By using the bench as your anchor, you make sure that your body is fully stable and the only tension that is generated in a muscle is your biceps. If you compare this exercise with the standing cable curls, the problem is not only is this exercise unstable as you do progressive overload, also a lot of other muscle groups overpower, just like your front delts, which makes this exercise suboptimal as compared to seated cable curls. Now, before moving on to the best tricep exercises, I want to pose this question on to you. Which bicep exercise in your experience has provided you the biggest stretch? Let me know in the comments below. Now, first exercise for the tricep is dumbbell extensions done on the inclined bench. Now, this exercise is one of my favorite tricep exercises because personally, I have grown my triceps tremendously over the years using this exercise. The awesome thing about this exercise is that since you're doing this exercise on an inclined bench, you get a crazy stretch in the long head of the tricep that you're not able to do if you would have done this exercise on a vertical 90-degree bench. Not only does this exercise provide a crazy stretch in the long head of the biceps, but it also takes care of the dumbbell hitting on the back of your neck while doing this exercise on the vertical bench. And not to mention, it is very easy to progressively overload with this exercise because not only you can use the dumbbells, you can also use the barbells if you think that this works better for you. If you would have done this exercise on the cables, then you would be limited by the amount of load you would be lifting, and also it would be very unstable. The next exercise is the lying skull overs. The name lying skull overs is because you are lowering the bar towards over your head instead of on your forehead. The best thing about this exercise is that it targets equally all 3 head of the triceps, but primarily stretches the long head of the tricep. Now, since we are talking about the stretch mediated hypertrophy in the long head of the tricep, I recommend you do this exercise with dumbbells. And this is because the dumbbell provides you more range of motion. If you would have done this exercise on the barbells, then the barbell will provide you more stability, but it will limit your range of motion. Now, one bonus tip when you're performing all of these exercises is that when you're close to exhaustion, at the end of the rep, when you're no longer able to perform the full range of motion, try to perform the partial reps in the lengthened position. And the reason is when you're close to exhaustion, your all motor units of muscles are so tired that only performing the lengthened partials will give you more benefit than the full range of motion. So that's why milk out those long length partials in the end and provide your muscles the opportunity to grow even more. Now, if you have done all of that, don't forget to watch part 1 of stretch mediated hypertrophy here, and I'll see you in the next video.